Hi, I'm Paul Willis. I have hypokalemic periodic paralysis, and I've been diagnosed for about 5, 6 years now. And I was diagnosed when I was about 20 years old. It started when I was shopping for, I think it was a birthday present for one of my friends. I have other diseases, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and I had that one first. It dominated most of my life up until I had my first attack of hypokalemic periodic paralysis. Then it's just been a competition to see which one's more of a pain in my butt.
I mean, our whole family, we love camping, we love hiking. He loves to fish. I like to have a book.
I was diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome when I was about 16. I always had symptoms of it. I would dislocate random things. I was always hyperflexible. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a collagen disorder where it's all made incorrectly, and collagen is about 80% of your body. Joints dislocate, stomach doesn't digest right, things like that.
He was active, he was on the wrestling team, and it was actually when he started on the wrestling team that the severe dislocations started. We didn't know at the time because, you know, it's not something you can see.
I was actually a really good wrestler because I was so flexible. I could just wiggle my way out of any pin. Or I could freak the referee out too. I could just like fold my leg over and it would look broken. He'd just like, stop, what the hell is wrong with your leg? I was trying to wrestle somebody. He had my shoulder and I tripped, and since he like really had a good grip on it, my shoulder just like ripped out. The ortho I went to was like, all of your joints are way too loose. This isn't normal. You should go to a geneticist. And the geneticist was like, that looks like Ehlers-Danlos. I'm gonna test you. And so that's how I got confirmed. And then once I went back to the ortho, he was like, you need to stop wrestling. You need to stop almost all sports. And that was incidentally terrible advice.
No more being active, drop out of wrestling. And we asked him, can he swim? No, that overshot. You know, it was just like, don't do anything. And within 6 months, he was in a wheelchair.
For Ehlers-Danlos, you need to have strong muscles because your joints don't, like the ligaments and everything, don't work really. So the muscles are what keep everything in place. Ironically, wrestling was what kept me having like great muscle tone and everything. And so it kept more things in place than I dislocated from the injuries. And so once I stopped, everything started dislocating, everything fell apart. At this point, I didn't know I had any periodic paralysis problems. Nothing that would scream, you have periodic paralysis, nothing until I was like 20. I stopped exercising, so all my joints deteriorated. My spine got loose, so my brainstem got crushed by my spine. It was just a mess. It was a real mess. When my spine got loose, it would crush my brainstem and it would cause me to go paralyzed. Around that time is when I had my first attack of hypokalemic periodic paralysis, and that makes you go really weak. I was shopping for a birthday present for a friend's kid. All of a sudden, just like half my body's like just lagging. It's real bad. I'm telling my mom like, I don't feel so great. And then she's like, do you need to sit down? I'm like, yeah, I do. And so she starts helping me to a chair, and before I could even get there, like my whole side goes. I'm just on the floor. She's trying to drag me to the chair. She thinks I'm having a stroke, so she's calling 911. She's trying to get the store employees to help me. They're trying to figure out if they should get us a shopping cart, like some sort of loader to just run me to the exit, because we're about one stop from the hospital. And so they run me there. They run a bunch of tests, and they just misdiagnosed me with the wrong thing, even though it's just low potassium probably at this point. And so while I'm there, they're just pumping me full of everything at that point. And it's probably why I recovered too. They said nothing about periodic paralysis, just you didn't have a stroke. It's probably a hemiplegic migraine, which is half your body going paralyzed from a severe form of migraine.
After that, we went to a geneticist. We found out what, you know, they did some genetic workup with him, but he continued spiraling out of control. And he started having all these other weird symptoms. So they finally did just whole exome sequencing, and they just sequenced his whole DNA. Just because you see it on a genetic report doesn't mean you have it. It just means that, you have the gene. It doesn't mean it's active for problems. A lot of people don't want to see it. And they asked us, do you want to see anything that isn't what we're looking for? And I said, I want to see everything.
So at this point, I'm about 22. Been going from hospital to hospital, and my mom's been on Facebook groups left and right trying to figure out what is wrong with me. She's heard about periodic paralysis. No doctors mentioned it to us at this point. So my mom found out about the periodic paralysis convention on Facebook because she's on a billion different Facebook groups just trying to figure out what's wrong with me.
He's had 3 surgeries. He's fused from his skull to T3. So he looks like he has great posture. Trust me, he didn't when he was in high school. He was the slouch king. He had myotonic events, he had flaccid paralysis events, and then he had the weakness events. And at first, when I was trying to catalog all this, because I was noting, I was writing every time he had an attack, like what did he eat, what did he do, what did this one feel like, what was the pain associated with it. It wasn't until later on that I could go back and say, oh, well, this one was due to brainstem compression, this one was due to low potassium. And I didn't figure that out until we went to the periodic paralysis conference, because at the conference, I was able to see other people that we knew had hypokalemic periodic paralysis and see their attacks and what they look like. And that actually was that aha moment, like, oh, so that's not these ones, that's this one. And we were able to finally definitively separate them. And now we just had to get somebody else to believe us.
Continue to follow part 2 of Paul's story, where we learn about his struggles with potassium levels and the discovery of a drug that helps reduce PP attacks. A link is in the description below. If you would like to know more about periodic paralysis, visit periodicparalysis.org. And if you enjoyed this video and want more, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell so you don't miss any future videos. It really does help spread the word. You can view other videos about periodic paralysis by clicking the thumbnails to the right. If you have questions, just leave a comment below or reach out to us on social media. We'd love to hear from you.